This is a HeadGum podcast.
Hello and welcome to the Complete Guide to Everything, a podcast about everything. I'm one of your hosts, Tom.
I'm Tim.
Tim, how are you doing this week?
Tom, I'm feeling productive this week.
Oh, well, I mean, it's only, I wouldn't say what day of the week it is to
maintain an air of mystery. We're recording on a Tuesday this week.
What? How? Tim, what did I just say?
Tom, I had to change. Usually we record on a Wednesday.
Yeah.
Which is
you're
why
giving
the
away all
news
the
is all stale.
We're going to have protesters outside next week now that they know what time we record, what day we record.
Yeah.
You'll never know what time. It's 5 a.m.
I would love to do this 5 a.m.
What?
Bang it out before I had to go to work.
You would not like to do that. Next week, we'll do it at 5 a.m. You
Tom,
want to do
you
that?
don't-
You want to come over at 5 a.m. on a Wednesday and record this podcast?
I'd sleep over Tuesday
You're
night.
not sleeping over.
Why not?
Because I don't want you sleeping over,
I'll
Tim.
sleep in the podcast.
Tuesday nights
room.
when The Flash is on. I like to watch The Flash alone,
I'll
thank
come
you.
over after. Oh, no, I'm not going to, hang out with you.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to set up shop. Use your Wi-Fi. Your Wi-Fi is slightly faster than mine.
Yeah. Yeah, I got the good stuff.
You do. I have such crappy Wi-Fi. I'm so angry about it all the time. I can easily do something about it.
Not really in New York, I feel like. Options are always limited.
I can get... I'm on the...
You have to move to a different neighborhood to get different internet service.
That's true, but I'm on a shoestring plan.
Oh.
I can easily afford a higher
I see what
plan.
you're saying. Oh, so you're like, it's not that it's like intermittent. It's just your top speed is you're maxed out.
Yeah, I feel like they throttle me on stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like it.
No. Tell them, hey,
And they inch it up.
let baby put his foot on the gas.
Listen, I'm putting RCN on blast.
Oh,
RCN,
no.
the cable company that nobody's ever heard of.
Yeah, I don't understand, Tim. They're like a deep south cable company and like your block in
Yeah, no, it's
Queens.
like 4 square blocks in Woodside,
I
Queens.
did not know they were in New York.
Yeah, they are.
I know
They
them from
suck.
like North Carolina.
Yeah, and they do this thing where every month
They've got a coax cable running from North Carolina
up
all the way to
I-95,
Queens.
yeah. It's it's pretty efficient if you ask me. But
All things considered, yeah.
yeah. So they inch up my bill every month.
Yeah.
To like last month I saw it was $20
More.
I called up and they're like, "Oh yeah, we do that. You just gotta call us. We'll knock it back down." It's like, why don't we just not do this then?
Well, it's not up to that man.
I know.
That man's being honest with you.
And that's what they do, man.
Yeah. They did that to me.
The
like,
powerful. They put a bunch of they put ourselves in between. They put
yeah.
I don't want to yell at some customer service representative.
Yeah.
But the big man's out on the golf course.
Right.
Golfing it up.
Yeah. They call him and he sends it right to voice. They're like, oh, we have a customer who's upset. Send a voicemail.
Yeah,
I'm
they're
busy.
like, I'm trying to get in touch with the CEO all morning.
I'm busy on the back 9.
They're always on the back 9. Huh?
Yeah.
Finishing up.
Oh, he's
Hole 10, hole 11, hole 12 sometimes.
Oh, is he done with the back 9? Yeah, but he's in the clubhouse now.
Oh, now they're in the clubhouse.
He's having a G&T in the clubhouse.
That's a gin and tonic?
Yeah.
Nice.
They know it there. He doesn't even have to ask because that's where he is all the time, spending your money.
I would like to do it at 5 a.m. I wouldn't do it here.
Okay.
We'd have to meet at an agreed upon location.
Times Square. It's quiet at 5 a.m.
You ever see Vanilla Sky?
Yeah, that's when they shot Vanilla Sky because it was quiet there.
Yeah.
We can adopt
It was the most quiet place they could find.
we can adopt the Vanilla Sky production model. we tape our podcast at 5 a.m. in Times Square.
Was Vanilla Sky a good movie?
You know what? At the time, I remember thinking it was great, but I don't think I've ever seen it again. And I remember also watching Abre Los Ojos or whatever, Open Your Eyes, that also had Penelope Cruz, and thinking that was great, but who knows?
Yeah. The problem with me is that for so long I was an idiot, so the things that I liked weren't actually good.
Yeah.
Now I'm smart, though.
I really want to watch The Mummy with Tom Cruise after we did that because did I show you the clip of Russell Crowe as Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde?
No, you didn't.
Oh, it's great because when he's Dr. Jekyll, this is how he talks. Hello, I'm Dr. Jekyll. Would you like to come in for a spot of tea? But then when he's Mr. Hyde, he goes, "Hello, I'm Mr. Hyde. I'm gonna punch your lights out."
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's what I want to see.
Yeah, so I want to see more of that. I gotta binge all the Dark Universe movies before the next one.
Oh, the Dark Universe.
But anyway, you said you're feeling productive this week.
Yeah, I want to go back to Vanilla Sky for a second. Do you know how they had to shoot that scene where Tom Cruise is running through Times Square in the morning?
Yeah, it's like stop traffic, probably, right?
No, they had to do it. They got a permit to shut down all the traffic there because,
like I just said.
Yeah, but they got it for one shot, as I recall. It's kind of Cameron Crowe made that movie?
I think so, yeah.
But he might have been exaggerating. But he said it might have been in the director's commentary. I watched all the director's commentaries for these movies,
when
too.
we were like around the age that came out, it was like any DVD. It was like, well, I got to buy the DVD. I got to watch the DVD. I got to watch all the bonus features. I got to watch the director's commentary.
How did we have the time?
Because the internet wasn't as good.
Yeah.
We didn't have phones. So it's like, well, I'm going to have to go to a desktop computer, and I guess maybe there were cable modems by then, but maybe we're still dialing up. I don't know.
But that was cool. There were times in my life where I would lie down in my bed and just listen to music.
Yep.
Imagine doing that.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
Watching a director's commentary of a movie that you watched a couple days earlier.
I remember being on the internet so early that I would go to yahoo.com and just go to the directory, and it'd be like, oh, no new websites. All right. I guess I'll just turn the computer back off.
I'll just go listen to OK Computer while lying on my bed.
Or let me see if any of these DVDs I have a commentary track I haven't listened to yet.
Some of them, like Fight Club, had multiple commentaries.
Yeah.
So he said they had the permit to shut down traffic and turn off all the lights for such a short time that as they were running, as they would pass a block, as Tom Cruise would pass a block, they'd open it up to traffic right away. So essentially, the whole thing was shut down for
10 minutes or something.
Yeah, and for the last 5 minutes, only half of it was open.
Yeah,
yeah. It's look, it's
and
pretty
then
fascinating
just
stuff.
Use digital to get rid of the cars behind them.
No, there were no.
As they opened it.
Yeah, I don't know. See, this is why I think Cameron Crowe might have been exaggerating.
Yeah.
But whatever.
I bet Tom Cruise
They
is
didn't use digital.
I can do it. I can run. Cameron, open up the streets. I'll run past them.
Yeah. I've gone clear. The cars stay away from me. I can't get hit by a car. They use digital effects and everything. Look, everything used to be better.
That's the crux of it, yeah.
Yeah. Old man cast. I feel productive, Tom.
Uh-huh.
I've gotten a lot done in the short time that has been this week. I was even productive.
I've been pretty productive this week, too.
Yeah.
I have nothing to say about it, so I don't know why I interrupted you.
Were you productive in your sleep?
No.
See, my brain is taking advantage of all the hours of the day.
You being out of the way?
Of all of the hours of the day.
Okay.
Other people's brains, or my brain on a non-productive week, will be like, it's time to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go to sleep, or I'll just throw out some crazy fun stuff in your head, or some terrifying stuff. Something that's not helpful in any way. My brain
so
was
in your imagining of the human psyche, your brain and your head are three different things. Your head is where you and your brain are, but sometimes one of you's not in there. Sometimes both of you aren't in there.
There's my brain.
Uh-huh.
There's my soul.
Right.
There's my body.
Oh.
And when the three of them are going in the same direction, wonderful things happen.
Okay. So in this case, you're saying that it was your body was out for the count.
Yeah, but my brain and soul collaborated at that point.
All right.
So maybe I'm giving too much credit to the brain when it's really the soul that was doing it.
Yeah. I often think that you don't give enough credit to your soul.
Thank you, Tom. From the bottom of my heart, thank you.
Your heart now.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, this guy. I dreamt an idea, Tom, that would make our
Change
show
the
better.
world.
That would make our production
Okay.
more efficient
Mhm.
here. Have you ever had a dream about our podcast?
I don't think I actually have ever
Me
had
neither.
a dream. Like, and even, like sometimes when we do like, big live shows or whatever, like I get nervous, but I still don't even have like anxiety dreams about it.
I have stress
I
dreams
have
about everything in my
Oh,
life.
me too. And like, if I'm like stressed about something to do with the show, I'll have an anxiety dream about like something completely different,
Yeah.
but not the show itself.
Yeah. If I like set my coffee maker to like make coffee in the morning when I wake up,
Yeah.
and I do it before bed, I have a stress dream that I like set the timer wrong, and I'm not gonna have coffee when I wake up.
I remember, I forget if you said this on the show or not, but a few weeks ago when we were in Pennsylvania on vacation together, but other people too, not just us, in case you missed that episode. But I had asked you, like, oh, did you return that Mission Impossible DVD that you rented from a Redbox before you came back to New York? And you were like, Tom, do you think that wasn't all I thought about every minute of the day from when I rented it until when I returned it?
Yeah, it's the way my brain operates.
Yeah.
So sometimes my soul comes in and says like, hey, let's collaborate.
Yeah. Hey, look over here.
So I had a dream that you and I came together and we're like, look, we put out very generously an hour of content every week.
For free.
For free.
And like another almost hour for Patreon people.
Yeah.
For the old money bags.
And guess what? We hate doing this. This is
Yep.
a burden.
It's the terrible undertaking every week.
Right now we could be watching director's commentaries.
Yep.
We could be lying on a bed listening to music.
Yeah, we go to the Redbox, rent a DVD to watch.
Exactly. So
You think me and Tim wouldn't rather be watching a DVD right now together?
I would like to watch a DVD. Actually, there's not to go off on another tangent here, but there's this 4.5 hours Twin Peaks explainer.
Oh,
that's on,
yeah.
YouTube.
Yeah.
I almost canceled tonight so I could stay home and watch it.
You think you'll be able to watch it in one sitting?
I watched an hour of it.
Okay.
That's why I was late. No, I mean, I think I could actually. It was pretty compelling.
Okay.
I kept going like 5 more minutes and I have to go.
Right.
And then finally, if I didn't have anywhere to be, if I only had this is mind you, during my very productive week.
Right. Yeah, you spent an hour watching a DVD, YouTube explainer of a show you've already
Yeah,
watched.
and I was like, when did I have time to watch the Vanilla Sky? I'm counting the seconds till I can go home so I can stay up till 3 o'clock in the morning and watch the rest of this. So anyway, you and I met up in my dream, and I was like, hey, Tom.
Well, that wasn't actually me. Let me be clear.
I don't know.
It wasn't a brain melding.
It might have been a brain melding. You don't know what your brain's
TV
doing.
and movies have led me to believe that happens a lot more often.
Tom, maybe you've never been in love.
I don't think they've ever been like, oh, people are in love and they're in a dream together.
Sometimes.
No, it's always like...
You don't watch enough romance.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's
programs.
always like a scientist from the future that like goes into your dream to warn you about something. I mean, that happens.
But yeah. So we sat down, and I was like, Tom, I got a Cracker Jack idea.
Mm-hmm. This is in the dream.
Yeah, how we can shave off 10 to 15 minutes of recording time every week. That makes us more efficient.
Right.
Right? If we're sitting down, instead of sitting here for 60 minutes, we're sitting here for 45 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, everybody benefits. And guess what? We're not shortchanging the
60,
listener.
Tim, 60 minutes is the edited down version. I mean,
Yeah.
It takes us 5 hours to get that 60 minutes of gold.
It's longer than a Twin Peaks explainer video
Yeah.
on YouTube sometimes. So I was like, all right, here's what we got to do. We got to take one day,
Mm-hmm.
and we gotta come up with a game show.
Okay.
And we're going to go to this other location. We're going to sell tickets to the game show. You and I are going to host the game show.
Uh-huh.
And we're going to host it for like this one whole day.
Uh-huh.
But then we
But
chop
this'll
that up.
take 10 minutes.
Then we chop that up
Uh-huh.
into 10 to 15 minute segments.
Okay.
And since we're doing it all at once, we're producing the game show all in one day.
Right.
Like it's a lot of work.
How they do Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune.
Yeah.
They shoot a bunch of episodes a day.
And at the end of every episode, we'll be like, hey, we're talking about Paul Rudd. Okay, this next segment is our famous game show segment.
Uh-huh.
And then it's something that we
throw to pre-recorded
and we've
clip.
recorded it months ago in front of an audience.
Yeah.
And that way, we have them for the whole year, Tom.
So we would shoot 52 segments, game show
520
segments.
minutes.
Okay. I mean, that's a lot of time.
That's not a lot of time.
It's 6 hours almost.
So?
10 hours almost.
Not 10, like 9 hours.
9 hours. Yeah, 9 hours is almost 10 hours
That's true.
by my estimation. Well,
But that's what I said. We'll do it all in a day.
Yeah,
You can do that in a day.
Well, if there's no breaks in between, we'll have to go to the bathroom.
We'll have bathroom breaks. It'll take 10 to 12 hours. The thing is, it was a real gift of the Magi situation, Tom.
Uh-huh.
It turned out to be so much work putting together this game show. We had to develop a whole game show.
Oh, so like, how far along in your dream? How far into production did we get on this?
I think this is where all of our live show stress dreams came out for me. Where I was thinking like, oh, okay, and it was the day, maybe even the morning of us
the taping,
going to do the taping.
right? So we're backstage doing the me.
No, we're at our respective homes.
Oh,
And realizing, oh, we didn't really prepare for this. And not only that, like, we were doing all the logistics of the ticketing and the crowd control. And
so we didn't hire people to do that.
no,
Okay,
because
of course.
and it wound up being a lot more work than just sitting here for an extra 10 to 15 minutes.
Well, I could have told you that. I probably tried to warn you about that in the dream.
But I do think we should probably have a live game show segment at the end of every.
I mean, it would be fun if then we cut to a segment where there was a live studio audience,
Right?
and a game show happening. Would there be different contestants in every episode?
I think in the dream, we were the contestants. And I don't know how it worked.
Tim, who would want to go to a 10-hour taping of a game show where we're the contestants and we made up all the questions and...
Yeah. That I hope I'll workshop tonight in my dream.
Tim, this week we're talking about America's favorite boy. What would you call him? America's favorite what?
America's favorite.
Charming man that's not Tom Hanks?
Yeah, he's not quite our generation's Tom Hanks, right?
No.
Because he doesn't have the
gravitas.
Yeah, he doesn't have the multiple Oscar wins for one.
Right.
Do you think Paul Rudd we're talking about? Do you think Paul Rudd's ever gonna win an Oscar? Do you ever think he'll dare to do Oscar bait?
That's the thing. Like, I think he could. I mean, honestly, I think I could win an Oscar. I think anybody could win an Oscar.
I don't know how to judge good acting.
Right.
If the movie's good, all the actors are good.
Right. And it's like, I don't know what's too much acting, what's like a lot of good acting, what's a lot of bad acting. Sometimes people are very good in things, and it's because they're not acting that much.
Right.
Sometimes they're very good in things because they're acting their little hearts out.
Yeah. Sometimes they'll get criticized. They'll be like, they're acting too much.
Where it's like, well, look, pal, you paid for a ticket. Don't you want to see as much acting as possible?
Yeah, look at their business card. It says friggin' actor on it.
Right. You think a lot of actors have business cards? You think like Brad Pitt has a business
Yeah, it
card?
says actor and it has his phone number on it, so people know.
No,
Directors know how to
no,
get.
because here's what you get to do when you're an actor. Oh, call my agent.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get an agent just for normal everyday life.
a real estate agent.
Yeah,
But
but
yeah, call my agent.
Do you
Oh, I
think
don't know
anybody's
how.
ever,
I don't
like-
know how to get in touch with your agent. Well, I guess you're not in Hollywood.
if you're doing your taxes and you go to the accountant
Mhm.
and you come back and your friend's like, how'd your taxes go? And you're like, I don't like my accountant. He was accounting too much.
Yeah.
He was accounting all over his office.
I think it's different because you're hiring somebody. If a director said somebody was acting too much,
The sandwich artist at Subway was
had too much panache.
Yeah, he made my sandwich too much.
Tell you what, I was walking by a Subway today. It was the first time I was tempted to go in a Subway for a while because they had these little sandwiches.
Yeah, so this whole time they were like trying to entice you with the footlongs.
Yeah.
And they were going the wrong way.
Yeah, and then today they had little sandwiches and they were less than $2. And I was like, here's my thing with lunch lately.
All right.
Trying to have a lighter lunch.
Yeah.
What I want is like a 10-course dinner for lunch.
Really?
All the time.
Once you start getting on the light lunch wagon, you'll never know how you weren't living like that.
Yeah, because if I do what I want, and this is probably applicable to most areas of my life, if I do what I want, it's going to screw me up later. And that's the case for lunch. I do generally nowadays have a light lunch because if I eat what I want to eat and I eat as much as I want to eat, then I'm useless for the rest of the day, the rest of the afternoon.
I've seen
least.
you after eating just a normal-sized meal.
Yeah. So,
Tom, what's your go-to lunch before this epiphany?
I don't necessarily have a go. I would, in all fairness, my go-to lunch is a peanut butter and jelly sandwich
Ooh, that's great.
with some Cheez-Its.
I thought you were going to say you put cheese on the
No.
peanut butter.
I got these new, how I'm a sucker for
Gimmicky
gimmicky
foods.
thing.
Yeah.
They came out with these new Cheez-Its called extra toasty Cheez-Its. They're all just the burnt Cheez-Its.
Mm.
And it said at the top. I was skeptical, but then it said at the top, our number one most voted Cheez-It.
Our number one most voted Cheez-It.
Most voted for, most requested. That's what it
Okay,
was.
All right.
I think they might have had a contest or something
Hmm.
amongst the different Cheez-Its.
Yeah.
And they're not bad. So, yeah, my go-to lunch is usually a peanut butter and jelly sandwich and like a handful of Cheez-Its.
Okay.
It's pretty good, but
It's pretty light lunch, Tom. I don't know
Yeah,
what to
well,
tell
and
you.
that's what I'm saying. When I have that, I'm good. That's what I'm saying. Like most of the time, I do have a light lunch.
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm like out and about, and I usually have like a late lunch too. But if I'm out and about, I'm hungry. Try and go for a light lunch out. And Subway apparently has that option now.
Well,
$1.89 for these sandwiches.
wow. And that's New York City prices.
Exactly. There's a new deli I've been going to that. Oh,
You imagine
it's good.
what they sell them for in those shithole flyover states. Imagine we turned this into a real coastal elite show.
Imagine what they sell for in those hellholes.
Just kidding. We don't think that way.
Yeah. But there's a new deli that I went to the other day. Let me put this by
I thought
you.
we were talking about Paul Rudd.
We are in a second. I got a panini.
Okay. A panini stinks, by the way.
Oh, no, fuck you. Paninis are good.
They take the best thing out of the bread. They turn the bread into a rock,
No, it's good.
and you know it.
No, maybe at shithole places where you get paninis, but you get panini.
Oh, Ohio's a shithole now.
That's where you get your paninis?
Yeah, I go to
Seems like a lot of
Ohio.
trouble. It's a long
I got
drive.
the best ones. I still don't like them though.
Panini, a bag of Utz potato chips, and a can of soda, $7.99.
Well, all right.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
It's not great, but
I
it's
don't
not bad.
look, I'm a very wealthy man. I don't value shop for lunch. Sometimes I'll eat
a lobster.
Yeah. Well, not for lunch, Tom. We just said I have a light lunch.
Oh, what's a light lunch for you?
Either a salad, which look, in today's New York City prices, salad's gonna cost me $10 to $12.
Oh, easy.
Yeah.
I can't get a salad for that price around me.
Yeah, you can go to Sweet Green.
That's where they're like $15 at Sweet Green.
You get the ones with like chicken in them and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, not me. I don't eat that stuff.
Well, I hate chickens. I like to eat them.
Yeah. I don't like chickens either.
Start eating them. I'll show him. Anyway, Paul Rudd. Here's a man who...
America's boy.
America's
Is that
boy.
what we settled on?
Yeah. He's probably got a real nice diet because how does he stay so young?
Yeah. You know, people say that. He's aging well. I bet he just moisturizes a lot.
Yeah, I've been trying to moisturize too.
Yeah, I try to moisturize, but then I always feel too slimy all the time.
Yeah, here's my problem when I moisturize in the morning because then I've got to I'm usually getting out of the shower, so I'm like super hot out of the shower because I take scalding hot showers.
Right.
Well, I refuse to use soap, so I just use the heat to clean. So I'm hot out of the shower. Then I put some moisturizer on, and then I got to take like a 10-minute, more than 10-minute walk to the subway. So now I'm getting hot. And now I feel slimy from my skin's pushing the moisturizer back out.
And I don't know the proper way to use moisturizer because I felt slimy, and so I started really rubbing it in. But then somebody told me, like, no, that's just going to clog your pores.
Oh.
But
You gotta use a hair dryer. Point a hair dryer at your face.
That's
dry
hot,
up the
too.
moisturizer. Yeah, you get the layer of slime off.
If Paul Rudd, if you're listening, if you could write in with your moisturizing tips.
Yeah.
Or, even if Rob Lowe is listening.
Yeah. I mean, he's got even better probably tips.
Yeah.
He's had work done. Not Paul Rudd, but Rob Lowe for sure.
Maybe. Oh, well, I mean,
Maybe. Definitely.
All right.
I'd like to turn this into just a catty celebrity.
You are a total gossip, Tom.
Yeah, I like to just gossip about
Real
celebs
chatty
on here.
Cathy, yeah.
Talk about who's had work done. Speculate on
They've
what
all
work
had
they-
work done. It's a system that demands it.
I talk about this. I don't know if I talk about this much on the podcast, but in my day-to-day regular life, one of my favorite topics to talk about is how every celebrity's had work done, but it's the ones that you think look great and are aging gracefully. They're just the ones that are like being smart and being like, no, don't try and make me look like I'm 20 years old again. Just try and make me look like I had a nice nap.
Do you think Ted Danson has had work done?
Absolutely, Ted
I
Danson's
think
had.
you're-
He's for sure
I
had
hope he
hair
gets
plugs.
sued.
He was
Yeah.
going bald during Cheers, and now he's
Yeah.
got a full head of white hair.
So you're saying hair plugs?
That's work, yeah.
Are braces having work done?
Leg braces?
No, on your teeth.
Oh, yeah, it's having work done.
Everyone in Hollywood has fake teeth. I know that.
Yeah,
and
veneers.
it's the people that are like, nah, don't make them blindingly white.
Right, yeah.
That you're like, maybe they don't have fake teeth. But
Yeah.
guess what? They all have fake teeth.
Right,
You fools.
yeah. You get to
Only a fool has their original teeth.
You get to
their baby
Hollywood,
teeth.
they yank out all your teeth and put in dentures.
Yeah.
Actually,
It's the only way to get ahead.
I was watching a thing with Paul Rudd the other day, which we'll get to. And I noticed, I was like, oh, he doesn't have like great teeth. And I was like, oh, good for him.
Yeah.
Like not bad teeth, but I was looking at his teeth and I was like, oh, his teeth aren't like super straight or anything.
He's
like,
an everyman,
yeah,
Tom.
he's a great man.
He's one of those guys. He's I think he's the male equivalent.
Uh-huh.
If women were shitty enough to do the thing that men do that I don't think they do. Men are like,
Wait, what?
all right, you know how
If
dudes
women were shitty enough to do the thing that men do,
And
which
this-
I don't think they do.
with this specific thing. I don't think women do this.
Oh, okay.
But men will do that. Will be like this. They'll see somebody in a movie, like a movie star.
Yeah, right. That they're in movies. Yeah,
And they'll be like, "Oh yeah, I like her because she's not really that pretty, but like I find her pretty." It's like, no, she's a Hollywood star.
Oh yeah, I mean the thing.
If you're in a movie,
Yeah.
guess what? You're more attractive. Like, hey, you schlub. That lady isn't like, oh, thank God, some doofus finds her attractive because no, you're the only one.
Yeah, people in movies that are like, oh, that person's supposed to be like, the goofy coworker or something. If that person like walked into a party you were at, you'd be like, oh my
You'd
God,
vomit out of anxiety.
Yeah, you'd be like, that's
Like,
the most
I
beautiful
hope she
person
don't
I've
talk
ever
to me.
seen.
Yeah, and I think Paul Rudd's kind of like hey, he's not like super hot, but he's attainable. And guess
in real
what,
life,
ladies?
he lights up a room like
he is not
goddamn
attainable.
Christmas
He's
Eve.
the most unattainable man you've ever seen.
Yeah,
Because you've never seen him.
right. Although I've met some very attractive people from movies in
Tinseltown.
in real life, and they're not unattractive, but like unassuming.
Name names.
I can't
Name one.
names.
Kevin Spacey?
No. Jesus Christ.
What?
Not Kevin Spacey.
What?
No.
He's dumpy in real life.
I don't think he's good looking in movies either, Tim, and he's a bad man.
I know. That's why he was the one I felt comfortable taking down. You're trying to take down Ted Danson and Rob Lowe.
I'm
Jesus.
not trying to take him down.
I'm trying to take down Kevin Spacey, Jared Fogle, Harvey Weinstein, all these people that everybody's like, oh, they're such sexy sex symbols. No, I'm not afraid to say it.
Let me also be clear that my interest in these little Subway sandwiches is not convey an endorsement of.
I heard they were Jared's idea personally.
Tim,
Paul.
let's talk about the man of the hour, Paul Rudd.
Paul. Blood?
Well, it's not Halloween month anymore.
Yeah.
But he's in the new Ghostbusters apparently, which I've like vaguely heard.
They did a good job with the whole Ghostbusters franchise by just abandoning. I'm being sarcastic. I'm not sure if it's not.
Yeah, I'm confused.
They made a big deal with the reboot of the Ghostbusters. And then they were like, oh, the toxic fan base is being toxic.
Mm-hmm.
Or the toxic element of the
the
fan base is being toxic. And they're like, by the way, we're never going to make any more of these
Ghostbusters.
women-led Ghostbusters movies. Or we're not going to make a sequel to this one. And then instead of just like letting it, like laying low for a minute, they're just like, now let's give the toxic fanboys exactly what they were clamoring for.
Yeah.
Like, hey, if you say enough horrible shit about women, we'll give you what you want.
Yeah. I mean, the two problems, in my opinion, like I watched that Ghostbusters movie. I thought it was funny. Like I like parts of it. But I think it was that like, I don't know, the central idea of Ghostbusters of like they're men who are like exterminators for ghosts isn't like that strong of an idea to like.
I think the first Ghostbusters movie is not as good as like people our age think it was.
Mm-hmm. I disagree, but go ahead.
Yeah, it's fine. It was a good, funny movie.
Yeah.
Ghostbusters 2 is a bad movie. You saw it when you were 8, so like you thought it was cool.
I also disagree.
Yeah. And that's it. Like, and the new Ghostbusters, the
2016.
Yeah. It's just like studio comedies are bad now. They don't make good studio comedies.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate.
So yeah, there's that. I also think that it is like, I don't know, like Ghostbusters was those four guys. That's kind of like,
and the gorilla, right?
it's kind of like if you made like a new Three Stooges. It's like, well, you can't recast the Three Stooges. Remember, they
did.
tried that,
The
and
Farrelly
it didn't
brothers
work.
It was great.
So I think that's the problem.
That movie was better than people gave it credit for.
I never saw it.
It was a faithful recreation of what a Three Stooges movie would be.
Well, so that brings me to, I think the second problem with that Ghostbusters movie was that it couldn't decide if it was a sequel or a reboot in the movie, and that was very confusing, where it was like, well, like either one's a fine idea, but like pick it and stick to it. You can't have like winks to like in-universe stuff while also like redoing the same things.
I just
like
wish they got
happened.
that cast together and made an original comedy movie.
Bridesmaids.
Yeah. I mean, it's not exactly that cast.
No, but
You're
it's
just like, ladies, make another lady movie.
no, but it has 2 of the 4 is what's her name in it too?
Yeah.
From
You don't know
SNL.
any of the ladies' names? Kate McKinnon.
Yeah,
is
is
not
she
in it?
Yeah,
She's
okay.
not in Bridesmaids, I don't think. Anyway, it had the director of Bride. Okay, it's fine. Okay,
Right.
all right, I get it.
Anyway,
Look, we're talking about Paul Rudd
Yeah, he's
and
in the new
Moisturizer.
Ghostbusters, but
and
they
Cheez-Its.
haven't said what he's in. What he's being in the Ghostbusters. He might be
Hopefully
a
not a
ghost.
ghost.
He might be.
Oh,
Who
that'd be
knows? He might be the new
terrifying.
Slimer. Maybe they're gonna have a new handsome Slimer in the movie. It's gonna
Ooh.
be Paul Rudd,
Maybe that's his Oscar turn.
and then everybody's gonna be horny for Slimer. That'll be the.
I got news for you,
and I can
Tom.
finally get rid of all those bumper stickers that I mistakenly bought years ago.
I bought one of the. Everyone I encounter's horny for Slimer.
Well, then help me move some of these bumper stickers.
I only
Tim.
have one car, Tom.
No, but tell other people to buy these. It costs
You
a
don't
lot
want to
to do this.
advertise that. You don't
to
want
do this
advertise
production
what you're
run.
horny for on your car. Anybody that has a bumper sticker on their car is a maniac.
It's 100% true. Like,
I want to be as anonymous as possible
yes,
driving down the street.
I want to be anonymous. I want to be private in my car.
Yeah.
Like I took off the little thing around the license that says where you bought the car from.
I think that's audacious that they put
Oh,
them
I
on
hate
there.
it. It's like you got my money.
I'm
you
paying
don't
you
get free
thousands of
advertising.
dollars, and then I got to advertise your business everywhere I go.
And then what shithead's driving down the street and sees a sign?
Hillside Honda.
Oh, I guess that's what's that? Speed up, honey. Let me get that number down. What a you think anybody ever walks in? Oh, I saw one of those plastic things around the license. I thought I'd come in. Go to hell. I hate. Oh, I'm so mad. It's the maddest I've ever been.
Me too. I'm fuming. I wanted to add to that, but I was choked with anger.
Anyway, Paul Rudd. I like how sometimes we do these episodes where it's like what's in the zeitgeist right now, and it like lines up with like people's like press tours, but they're not on the show.
No,
like
but
Paul Rudd's out there doing a lot of press right now, so where it's like,
and the
I
name of
guess we
this
should do it.
episode is Paul Rudd. I apologize. They're not listening anymore, but somebody was just like, "Oh, Paul Rudd's on this show. I'd like to hear an interview
Yeah,
with
I
Paul
love
Rudd."
Paul Rudd. Why would they name it Paul Rudd? Oh, there's just the banter that get out of the way, and then Paul Rudd.
Then Paul
he's
Rudd
gonna
comes.
sit in
Yeah.
for the second half of the episode.
Nope. Sorry, you should have listened to Fresh Air instead.
But he has a new Netflix show, Living with Yourself, that I watched.
I watched some of it.
I got a screener at a time ahead of his press tour, and I liked it. I'm not going to give anything away. There are things about it that I had problems with, especially towards the end. I don't think it like necessarily stuck the landing, but I liked it. It was still
Paul
good.
Rudd and Paul Rudd?
Yeah, he plays himself twice in it.
Yeah. You know what? He does a good job.
Yeah.
They do a good job. I think he acts a little too much, right? What does that mean? He plays a schlubby guy and like a
and
slightly
a clone
less
of himself. That's like a
schlubby.
perfect version of him.
Yeah.
Which is just the regular Paul Rudd.
When they're talking to each other, it's like, man, it's like two different actors, and they're both on the screen at the same time.
It
There's
is
one
like
guy.
he does a good job
Yeah.
with that. And apparently, when he made the movie, he was telling me earlier during the pre-interview, We did the pre-interview.
Oh,
but
he's
then,
here right now. We just don't have enough mics.
yeah. So he's like motioning to like tell him about this part.
All right, enough. We don't want to. We don't. There's nothing worse than somebody off mic.
Yeah, backseat driver. No, that when he had to do the parts with himself, they didn't use like a stand-in or anything.
Why not?
He was just like, I don't want to react to a stand-in. I'll just remember what I did, and I'll react to what I did. Like he had an earwig in.
An earwig?
That's what they call them in the biz. Tim.
What is it? What's that?
It's just a little radio receiver.
An earpiece?
Yeah, an earpiece.
They don't call it an earwig.
They call it an earwig.
Man, Tinseltown Tommy teaching me something new every week.
Because it's so tiny, like you can't see it on camera. It's very small.
Okay.
So he would have the audio from what he just did, so he could act against that audio.
Okay.
But other than that, he was just remembering, like, here's where I stood, here's how I
he did
motioned.
all the blocking himself.
Yeah.
In that big, beautiful brain of his.
Yep.
Paul Rudd seems smart, right?
Oh, absolutely.
What do you think he has an above-average IQ?
I don't know if he has an above-average IQ. This is what I'm going to guess about Paul Rudd. It's a shame he doesn't have a mic, so he can't answer for himself.
Yeah.
That he's probably like a guy that like reads a lot. He's probably like into history or something.
Yeah.
You know, like a naturally curious guy. Maybe not, you know, like a off the charts genius, but like a guy who's always learning.
Yeah. That's that seems right. I can't find his SAT scores anywhere online. But I bet he was
I'll search
firmly
the dark web later.
I bet he was a 1380.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I bet he was a good all-around student.
Yeah.
Tim,
Paul Rudd, if you're listening, moisturizing routine and your SAT scores.
That's what we want to know. But they changed the SAT scores, Tim, so we're not going to have a same.
Yeah, but
we'll
it's
be able
out
to,
of 1600 that we know.
Well, yeah, we can remember ours, so then we can compare against.
What was your SAT score?
It was a 1390.
Ooh, so you think you're smarter than Rudd?
What did you say he was?
I guess 1380.
Yeah, I'm 10 more than him.
Nice.
No, 1420 was my SAT score.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because it was the combined score.
Yeah. So you got
no. I took it twice.
I took it once. I didn't need to take it twice.
You should have taken it twice. I did. And I got 30 more points.
Well, I took it once, and I got 20 more points than you.
Oh. Well.
1440. I know you probably can't do the math because you're...
My math, I think, was almost perfect. I forget which one I did better at.
Well, we're both very smart boys, and look at us now.
I have no idea. I just realized, like, I have no idea how I would possibly find that out at this point.
What?
Like, what my SAT scores were.
Oh, just look in your permanent record. It wasn't so permanent, was it?
Yeah.
Let that be a lesson to you, kids.
Maybe
do whatever you want.
I don't know. Go to this. Maybe I'll go to our old high school tomorrow.
They don't let adults in schools now. It's your hero, Jared Fogle. None of us can go in and just get our transcript if we're curious.
Tim, do you remember? Everybody remembers Paul Rudd from Clueless.
Yeah, I never saw Clueless.
You've never seen Clueless?
No.
Were you out of your mind?
I never saw a lot of the seminal teen 90s movies.
How did you never see Clueless?
I was too busy watching Primal Fear.
Clueless was it was like on all the time.
I know. It just didn't appeal to me.
I don't know. I've seen Clueless like a million times.
It turned me off that her name was Cher.
Yeah, that was confusing.
It was confusing.
Yeah.
Like a Cher in this picture? Is this going to be like mermaids?
Is this mermaids? Is this Moonstruck? Yeah. Clueless was one of those movies that I didn't dislike or like, but it was like extremely watchable. Like when it was on, you would watch it. And Paul Rudd played Josh. I remember that was his name. He was her stepbrother. And he was a hunk.
Yeah. And he doesn't look all that different.
No. And he was in a Super Nintendo commercial, too.
I remember that.
Yeah. And that's one of those things where, like, you know, a lot of times they'll be like, oh, look, before this person was a star, and they'll show a commercial, and you're like, oh, I never saw that. That's like the one commercial. It's like, oh, I remember that commercial. Holy shit, that is Paul Rudd.
Yeah.
And he looks exactly the same still, too, because of the moisturizing. Do you remember him in Romeo and Juliet?
I have a confession to make, Tom. I never saw Romeo and Juliet.
Tim, what kind of goddamn teen were you?
It seemed boring. Shakespeare, Tom.
No, man, because guess what? John Leguizamo was in it. Paul Rudd was in it.
Paul Sorvino was in it.
Paul Sorvino was in it. Yeah, he played like the head of the, forgive us, the Romulets or the Capulets or something.
Brian Dennehy was
Yeah,
in it?
he was like the head of the other family.
The Montagues.
Yeah. What did I say? The Romulets?
Yeah, I was going to let that go.
That's from Star Trek. Yeah. And to say nothing, of course, of Leo and Claire. My generation's Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah, well, you know that friggin' I have a long-standing feud with Claire Danes.
Right, over Beck, was it?
Yeah, she had a VIP ticket to the Beck concert that I was at, and I had to leave my seat.
MTV Unplugged, right?
No, it was a show called Sessions at West 54th.
Ah.
But it was in
And
the
where
same
was
room. No, I get
What
it.
street was that on?
Broadway.
Do you remember Paul Rudd from Friends, the television show Friends?
Now, this is where Paul Rudd's situation is weird, right?
What do you mean?
Yeah, he was on Friends, and he was great on Friends.
Yeah.
It was after...
Phoebe's love interest.
Yeah, they eventually got married on the program.
Mm-hmm.
But he was on the show from 2002 to 2004.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I stopped watching television.
Right.
You
switch exclusively to DVD commentary tracks. At
pretty
that point.
much. I mean, like, that was college. Like,
Yeah.
I'm old. I was in college. And I just didn't watch anything on TV for 4 years. And it's weird because Wet Hot American Summer, which he was also in, couldn't be more different than Friends.
Right.
And, like, that came out in 2000, but really 2001 kind of, right? So, it's just weird that he like lives a double life with his actings, Tom.
Yeah.
He's in all
absolutely.
these goofy David Wayne comedies, but then he's also in like
Marvel movies.
Yeah, and then like teen movies too.
Mm-hmm. Friends, which was like the biggest show on TV at the time.
Yeah. Biggest show on TV now.
Yeah.
What's bigger than Friends now, Tom? Maybe The Office?
Maybe Dateline.
Dateline. You know what? I learned a fact about Dateline recently.
Okay.
Or maybe something about Stone Phillips.
Oh, you don't
in
remember what it
particular.
is.
No, but it was interesting.
Oh, well, that's all that counts. I'm glad you brought it up.
Brain's letting me down today.
Tim, you have anything else to say about Paul Rudd before we solve a problem?
No, I like him. What about you?
Did you say I'd like him?
No, I like him.
I love him.
Yeah.
I more than like him. I love him. I'm not afraid to say it. I love the man. And he was in a movie called I Love You, Man.
Yeah. And who can forget his turn as Mr. Anderson in The Perks of Being a Wallflower?
Oh, I do vaguely remember that.
I didn't see that movie.
I saw that movie. It was all right.
I didn't like the book, Tom.
It had Hermione from Harry Potter.
Is that why you watched it?
It had Hermione and The Flash, the movie Flash. I
You know
think.
what? You know what the problem with Paul Rudd's career is? And Paul, if you're listening, I want you to know this.
There's no Tim. I think I've mentioned on this show before. Paul Rudd made $41 million from Avengers Endgame alone.
Okay.
There's no problem with this career.
No, I'm not talking about money. Isn't everything, Tom. I think he's underserved by his material, and again, I think that they just don't know how to make studio comedies anymore.
Oh yeah,
because like he's
if
in
Paul Rudd were around in the '80s, holy hell, he would have cleaned up.
Oh yeah, he would have been Chevy Chase.
Yeah, He would have been better than Chevy Chase.
Yeah.
He would have been like, because he would have been a
Bill
Chevy
Murray.
Chase that was easy to work with.
Yeah, and that like the audience liked.
Yeah.
But like Dinner for Schmucks, Our Idiot Brother, what else? There's movies like
I Love
that.
You Man, Role Models.
Yeah, Role Models was a good movie.
Yeah.
That's a good, hey, don't disparage Role Models.
Oh, I'm not disparaging
But, like,
any of those movies.
Where they're just like, oh yeah, I know what's going on here.
Yeah. Like a paint by numbers
Yeah,
kind of studio thing.
yeah.
Role Models was kind of that, but it elevated it because
It was
of who
weird.
in
They
it.
got weird.
Yeah. Anchorman. Like if Anchorman came out in the 80s, like I guess Anchorman's like a pretty big thing anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, people like it. Did you ever see Anchorman 2, Tom?
I didn't.
They should stop. Look, they should stop making sequels in general or like franchises I don't like.
Mm-hmm.
But if you don't make a sequel to a hit within like 4 or 5 years,
Yeah.
sorry, you missed it. The moment's over.
Yeah, what's the... Oh, I know what. I can refute this right now, but I was going to say, what is something that's had a sequel long after that has actually been good?
Mad Max Fury Road. Is that what you're going to say?
No, I forgot about that one, but that's a good one. But I was going to say Twin Peaks.
Yeah. That Twin Peaks is its own thing. I'll show you this video I found.
Well, I think it's... If you're going to do it that far after, like, you have to reinvent it, kind of.
Yeah.
Like, you have to find a new angle to take it on. But, like,
Yeah.
and Anchorman 2 is like, we'll do Anchorman again. It's like, oh, if you'd done that 2 years after Anchorman, that would have been great.
We all would have
We all
loved it.
wanted more Anchorman. But, like, you did it, I don't know, 10 years later, and it was the same kind
Maybe
of thing.
more than that,
Maybe
even?
more.
Yeah.
And it was just like, oh, yeah. Oh, okay.
2013, and the original Anchorman came out in 2004. Okay, 9 years.
Yeah.
Look, I'm sure everybody had a great time. And that's what it's all about.
I'll say this before we move on to a problem.
Okay.
I have 2 underrated Paul Rudd roles.
Rudd rolls.
Uh,
Hey, Rudd roll call.
the first one is Ant-Man. No, the first one is Paul Rudd in Reno 911, the movie.
Absolutely.
Such a great, where he's playing just the drug dealer who's shaking hands with Patton Oswalt.
Yep.
Great. Second underrated role, the movie Mute, which is on Netflix, which is the pseudo sequel to Moon. It's kind of a sequel to. I mean, it exists.
I've never even heard of it, Tom.
You've seen Moon with Sam Rockwell?
No, I haven't seen a lot of movies, Tom.
Watch Moon with Sam Rockwell.
I have to watch the Vanilla Sky director's commentary.
But then Mute takes place in the same universe, but isn't like a real direct sequel. I gotta watch that movie again. It did not do well on Netflix. Like, it got poor reviews and stuff. I really liked it. It might have just been the aesthetic. It's like a cyberpunk movie. I loved it. And Paul Rudd's in it, and he has a big handlebar mustache.
Ooh, now you've got my... What do you think of the movie Diggers, starring Paul Rudd?
Oh, that's also a good movie. And Ken Marino.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think of the movie Prince Avalanche?
I haven't seen it. I was about to say I think I may have seen like every Paul Rudd movie, but I haven't seen Prince Avalanche.
You haven't seen that. You know what? I
That's
wanted
other
it to be
weird thing
better.
about
It's a
him.
David Gordon Green movie with him and Emil Hirsch. And it's just about 2 guys that are
Give me a David Allen Greer movie.
So 2 guys painting lines on a road that goes through like the forest.
Oh,
Someone's gotta paint those
sounds
lines.
interesting.
Yeah, it wasn't. And I was like, oh, this is going to be very thoughtful. It was thoughtful, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I would hope it'd be thoughtful, if nothing else.
Yeah.
It's like it's certainly not action-packed. What do you mean they're painting lines through the forest and somebody has to do it?
On the roads.
Oh, on the road.
The
All right.
lines on the road.
All right. That makes... Like, what the hell are you talking about? What Illuminati bullshit
Have I ever
is
been
this?
to the forest? Yeah.
You know, the lines. Everybody knows the lines in the forest. You want to solve a problem?
Yeah, one last thing.
Okay.
People crap on the movie This Is 40 as navel-gazing
Oh, no, I
bullshit.
love This Is 40.
Yeah, sure. It's bullshit rich people problems.
Yeah.
But it's Paul Rudd being charming
Yeah.
for
Look.
5.5 hours. How long is that movie?
Yeah, it's pretty long.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah.
People crap on the Judd Apatow movies for being real long. You don't have to. You can stop watching it at any time. Like nothing really happens in
That
any of
goes
them.
for every movie.
Yeah.
You can't stop watching Avengers Endgame. You have to see what happens at the end.
Yeah, exactly.
Spoiler alert, the Avengers win, but not without sacrifice.
Does Ant-Man die?
No, Ant-Man's fine. He turns into Giant Man.
What?
Yeah.
Well, I gotta see this film.
Yeah.
All right, let's solve a problem. Hello and welcome to Time to Solve Your Problems. I'm Tim,
Tom.
and we're going to solve a problem. But first, if you have a problem you'd like us to solve, you can email us at thecompleteguidetoeverything@gmail.com. Tom, we haven't gotten a lot of these recently because we haven't done them recently. It's a real chicken or the egg situation.
Yeah. I was going to say chicken and the egg, but no.
Yeah, no,
right.
that's why I paused as well. Yeah. Anyway, look, Halloween month, we had to put the problems on hold because there was a lot of spooky stuff going on.
Yeah.
And you didn't want a haunted solution to your problem anyway.
Right. That's the last thing you need, a curse.
This one comes from John. He
Okay.
writes, Dear TNT. I like when people call us that.
Yeah, like dynamite.
Yeah, because of the show, it's dynamite.
Why is my dog going in the bathroom?
I don't know.
I always think she's using the toilet in there.
Oh, that's not...
That'd be great. God, that would
make your life a lot easier.
it'd make my life easier, but then it would give me fewer reasons to go outside.
My name is John, and I have a little problem. It doesn't seem that little. I travel overseas several times a year for work. I design and develop furniture and lighting, which takes me to a variety of Asian countries.
Mm-hmm.
I like the work and enjoy the travel experience for the most part. I'm finishing such a trip as I write this, 12 days with 15 different flights. That's
Holy shit.
No, I do not get to fly in the nice seats, but I do get economy plus for the longer flights when I can. Lately, I've been feeling down about my carbon footprint. The travel is an important part of the development process, and either I fly to see the prototypes or the prototypes are flown to me, typically 50 to 100 per trip. Man, this guy is very prolific.
Yeah.
I'd like to do something that helps ease my conscience regarding all the jet fuel expended. My one thought is to randomly kick cars, but that does not seem
What?
sustainable, and I'm not particularly big or tough. Looking forward to your suggestions, John. P.S. What beer do you drink during the show?
Man, we both have cars. And if somebody kicked my car
Because they felt guilty about a whole bunch of fucking flights they took? That's not on us, man.
Yeah, that would be I'd be clear to
I don't think people should drive cars. I know that's not feasible,
right.
but if somebody kicked my car,
Somebody drove my goddamn car.
somebody kicked my car while I was driving it. Unfortunately, my first instinct would be like, I'm going to run this guy over with my car.
Right. You just wait right there, pal. I'm getting this car now, and you're going to be sorry. Yeah, I don't know. Look, global warming's a problem.
Oh, no.
I don't know about the whole carbon footprint for individuals, like for flights and cars and all that. With that said, like I don't drive my car very often because, like, I don't know.
You're not a monster.
Right. Well, it's not even that. It's just like I don't really need it. Like I won't drive it somewhere if I can get there via public transit because public transit is easier
Yeah.
for the most part. But like I don't know. I always just think about like I don't feel guilty flying someplace because I'm like, I don't know, they're putting fucking toothbrushes on a plane, like to not
to
one at
import
a
them
time.
and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh,
Where
yeah.
I just don't think like passenger travel is like the most pressing issue.
I mean, it is one of the most pressing issues, to be clear.
Oh, are you a scientist?
Let me be clear. That's pretty good, right?
Mm.
Well, yeah. No, John should feel bad. Just the way that any of us should feel bad.
But
for,
what good does walking around feeling bad do?
Well, maybe change your fucking outlook,
he can.
man. No, you can do other things to offset
Even if he quits
that.
his job, somebody else is going to take his job.
I know, those
And maybe that person's going to say, send me 200 prototypes, and I'm going to fly to them and send the prototypes to my office. Whoops, a screw up. Better reverse it. And then they fly both back. And he's like, oh, no, once again, 2 ships in the night.
Here's the thing, man. Those flights are going to fly with or without you. Don't be so self-centered.
Couldn't you argue you're a vegetarian? Hey, that chicken's already dead. You might as well eat it.
No, not at all. Because they're...
If enough people were not taking the flights, then that flight wouldn't happen.
Yeah, true. But you can... and of course, if we could all...
I'm just being devil's advocate from like 3 different
You're not
angles.
even being devil's advocate. It's just whenever I say anything, you interrupt me to say the opposite.
No, I don't.
God damn it. Look, we should all try to lessen our long haul flights, right?
Well, no, short haul flights, aren't those worse?
No,
they
they're
aren't.
in fact not.
Oh, I assume like the most fuel was used during like takeoff and landings.
I mean, it's not. It's the emissions. It's not necessarily like.
Well, don't the emissions come from fuel?
That might be true. Look, here's what I'm saying. Use it as an opportunity. Look, in the short term,
sign up to our Patreon.
Yeah. In the long term, try to take fewer flights if you can. Maybe, at some point find another job where, or find another way to Asia. Slow boat to China, right?
Right. There's a reason why it's
Just take
a
a
saying.
slow boat, man. But use this as an opportunity to be like, okay, if I am concerned with my carbon footprint, what are ways that I can offset that in my day-to-day life? Do you drive a car? Maybe use public transportation more. Do you eat meat? Maybe eat meat less frequently.
Mm-hmm.
Research some things, and maybe you'll be better than the guy. If you didn't take that flight, the guy that would be in your seat would still be doing all that other shit.
Right.
Use your guilt. Use your guilt in other ways.
To bring it back to Paul Rudd, he was on that YouTube show Hot Ones where they eat hot chicken wings. Mm-hmm. He was on there eating hot buffalo cauliflower, one of my favorites.
Huh. Is he a vegetarian?
He is not, but he's trying to eat less meat.
Yeah, see?
Look at him.
So, John, be like Paul Rudd.
Yeah.
We should all be more like Paul Rudd. Paul Rudd's a guy that I think about when I feel like the whole fake it till you make it thing.
Yeah.
When I'm in a bad mood, I'll be like, look, I don't want to bring everybody down with my fucking bad mood. Maybe I'll try to act a little bit more like Paul Rudd does.
Yeah. Root for the Kansas City Royals.
Yeah.
Nobody's rooting for them. Why aren't you? Why not you?
You know, Rudd isn't even his last name.
What is it?
Rudnitsky or something.
Oh, okay. Yeah, makes sense. Hollywood, baby.
Thanks for the email. You should feel very bad, John.
Would you feel differently if...
Use your guilt. Look, we all do things that are bad for the environment, for society, for whatever.
Not me.
You do, Tom. I'm looking at all these electronics in here.
Yeah, they're not in a landfill.
Use your guilt to motivate you to do things where you can.
Do you think he could feel less guilty if he took these flights as a stowaway?
Yeah, just climb in the wheel well.
The same amount of fuel would be used. So you're wrong. And it's dangerous.
It's fun. I've done it.
There was like
It's cold down there.
Yeah, like a few times recently, people have like fallen out of those over London and like ended up in people's backyards.
That's terrible. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's tragic. I wish
How
you wouldn't
dare
joke
you
about it.
suggest that somebody do that?
I didn't. You did.
If you have a problem you'd like us to solve, you can email us at completeguidetoeverything@gmail.com. You can find out more about the show at tcgte.com. You can follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/complete guide. Follow us on Twitter at complete guide. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Tom Reynolds.
Follow me at your pal Tim.
If you want to support the show, support our sponsors. Check them out. Also check out tcgte.com/Amazon for your Amazon shopping and patreon.com/complete guide for our secondary podcast called Books the Podcast. This month Tim is reading Interview with the Vampire by Anne Rice and telling me about it. And boy, is it steamy. It is sensual in a way.
Sensual. No, you know what? I had to read this. Look, it says it's sensual all over the book, right? Like all the reviews say it. But it really pisses me off, this part that I read, and you'll hear in this week's episode if you're a Patreon subscriber. Like, the language that they use to describe children in this book. It's like, this should be on every single banned books list. And I don't understand how, like, the Washington Post is like, a sensual thrill.
Yeah, so check that out at patreon.com/complete guide. Tim, any parting shots at Paul Rudd?
No, I will never take a shot at Paul Rudd.
He's a great man.
Honestly, I have no complaints. I feel like I feel like the system serves him poorly, but I think he's also just doing great stuff. He's doing just fine.
Yeah.
The Ant-Man movies, they're not for me. The Marvel movies aren't for me.
Mm-hmm.
But I saw both of them in the theater.
Yeah.
I saw Ant-Man and the Wasp opening day.
Yeah. You didn't see Captain America Civil War?
No.
He's in that.
Mm-hmm.
And you didn't see Avengers Endgame, and he's in that.
I did not.
Yeah, he's in 4 Marvel movies so far.
Wow.
And many more.
Maybe.
Hopefully.
We don't know.
They might do a Disney Plus series, it sounds like.
For Ant-Man?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, hey, sign me up for Disney Plus. Do I sign up through you?
Yes.
Okay. Do you need my credit card number?
Yeah, please. Okay. Just
It's an American Express.
Okay. Where are the numbers?
3648.
Okay.
Are you writing this down?
Yeah, I'm writing it down.
That was a HeadGum podcast.